What's going on today, guys? Today is Monday for me, Tuesday for you. Already getting started out kind of late. It's probably already about 6 o'clock. We got my man Ryan over here. We're going to be working on the first gen again today. We're going to be pulling apart the rear end to see what kind of brakes we need. We already know that the seals, it's got a little bit of weepage going on in there, so we're going to take a look at that. We're going to see what else we can get done today. There's plenty of stuff on the list, kind of all over the place, so we're going to see what else we can get done. We are going to swap the axle eventually, but for now, and just to like keep the ball rolling on the first gen project, we're going to stick with this rear until I can like find a suitable thing. There are some things that have to be swapped over, like the shock placement, a couple other little things. So instead of like tying the truck up on the jack stands for, you know, X amount of time till I find a rear, get all that stuff sorted out, we're just going to try and rebuild this one. I have all the stuff ordered for the front brakes. I ordered the suspension stuff. So slowly but surely, we're gonna get this thing roadworthy. Also, I did talk to the body man. Parts are well underway. The part that was back ordered is now not. He's working on it, so that's gonna be very shortly. Updates all around, but for now, let's get started on the first gen. Two and 9/16 thin wall socket.
Axle nut socket.
Axle nut socket, as Aaron would say.
Rounded sides. That's fine.
Rounded sides. Why didn't you just say the technical term then? What do I know? All right, so here's what we got so far. Ryan, so explain the good people what's going on here. So that the outer bearing sits right inside here, and then the axle goes in through this.
Right, it's your typical race style wheel bearing with a hub seal in the back. This is your hub seal, and this is what's causing our leak. The studs hold it in the drum and the hub together, and this sits in the drum.
Oh, that's the deflector?
This is the deflector, so this is what makes all the oil
go back out on the outside.
Come outside of the drum instead of getting on your brakes and having no braking. But we need to replace this seal, get this all out, and clean everything up.
Okay.
Get the bearing out.
Now, some of you may be wondering, man, that Ryan guy, he sure knows a lot for a Snap-on guy. Well, Ryan was a professional mechanic before going into the Snap-on field. Greg here. Greg was not a professional mechanic, so we enlist the help of Ryan.
Service Writer of the Year.
So if any of you young guys think that I know everything, what I have is I have a Ryan. And what does Ryan like to do? Ryan likes to eat. So we feed Ryan, and he helps us learn things and do things. Alright guys, so as suspected, the rear brakes pretty much need everything. So I didn't get anything ahead of time because there's so many different rear drum and shoe options, even though this is a pretty common rear axle. When I went to go search for parts, they were kind of asking some questions that I didn't want to order the wrong stuff. So now that we got that tore down, you know, I pretty much have an entire list here you know, drum shoes, hardware kit, cylinders. I'll show you guys the brake line, axle bearings, hub seals, lug studs. Just jotted some notes down. This brake line that I'm about to show you has been replaced before, but somebody thought it was a great idea to go over top of the leaf pack there instead of down and around the axle like it's supposed to. Brake line is even angled so it can come that direction, but they put it like that. So we're gonna fix that as well. Show you guys the other side. It's supposed to kind of come just like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fix that up. Not gonna pull this side apart. We pretty much know at this point it needs everything, so we're gonna get everything and then do one side at a time. If you're ever doing drum brakes, you know, even if you're the most experienced in the world, you know, leave one side together. That way when you're doing the other side, you can kind of bounce back and forth and see what's what. It makes it a lot easier. So on this side of the front brakes, the caliper is grinding on the inside, so front brakes pretty much need a full overhaul. Calipers, pads, rotors. Also going to do new bearings, hoses, pretty much everything. And like I mentioned before, the loose sloppy steering, we got parts all coming for that. So when I get all this stuff in, we'll go over it a little bit more, but for now we at least know what we need completely. We'll be gathering all that stuff and doing that shortly. Alright, so next on the list of never-ending things that this thing needs, we're going to replace the hydro boost and the master cylinder. We got it as an assembly, so we're going to get to start doing that. What's the first step? Undoing the
lines, the vacuum lines.
It looks like the vacuum lines have actually been replaced. These don't actually look too bad.
I would pull the intake tube, air cool tube, so we can come out with it. We got to undo these bolts because your proportioning valve is attached to that bracket. Yeah, which should be interesting.
Just gotta loosen that. Which should be interesting. Oh man. All right.
So. All right.
Alright guys, while Ryan's finishing the last bolt to get the bracket off of the master, you can see how torn up that is. But to remove the rest of it, it's basically that shaft, that little clip you have to take off, and then the 4 bolts right here. And that's pretty much it. We gotta give her a little clean job while we're in here. Oh, I see why he gave you this job, because you want me to scratch the paint.
Yep, I ain't doing that.
You guys can't really tell, but it looks like it is going to rain here very soon. So I had to rush and clean up all this stuff on the driveway, but pretty much where we're ending is got the new hydro boost master cylinder combination in, all hooked up. Obviously, seeing that we're going to be doing calipers and all the shit in the rear, we're not going to bleed anything now. We're just going to bleed it all at the end. But everything's hooked back up in the cab. You know, really needs a good cleaning, but we're going to save that. Just trying to clean what we're taking off for now. Alright guys, I actually ended up disassembling one of the pumps. I actually took some measurements off of the bed mount here, and the pumps actually were a little high. So what I did is I just moved this top bolt of the bracket down to the bottom hole of the support, and it actually lowered it enough to where when that bed humps up, I'll still have enough room for the filler necks and both pumps, and I can still actually squeak both filters out down between here. So I still feel good about everything. I'm still happy with everything. Just a minor adjustment. I'm glad that just moving that down, just it's about 1 inch, you know, between here and here. Moved it down plenty enough to have now enough room for both, and everything will still be really hidden. So I'm happy about that. And as you can see, the garage is just a complete disaster. Some serious cleanup happening tonight. But that's pretty much gonna wrap up the video for tonight. You'll be seeing my man all week long helping with the first gen. So plenty more first gen footage to come up, but hit that like button before you leave. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. We are back to normal-ish schedule. Ryan's bachelor party was this weekend.
Yeah, we remembered it.
Did you have fun? Well, Ryan doesn't remember anything. But back to normal schedule for the time being, with the daily uploads, a lot of first gen stuff, getting this thing ready to go. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, Island Dragway this Sunday. Me, some of the crew, Johnny Send It, will probably all be there. So come say hi if you're there. And that's it. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.